Today, we're going to be talking about some of the traps of the precious metals industry and what you can do to avoid them. One of the number one things that you can notice when you go to a precious metals website ready to buy some gold or silver is take a look at the front page of their website and see whether or not they have any big name endorsements right at the front. Here's the thing, the precious metals industry is driven by volume and razor thin margins. It's not possible or feasible for your everyday precious metals dealer to even afford something as expensive as a big name endorsement. So when you see that they have those, that is normally a red flag that you can say, wait a second, if they can afford this kind of advertising, if they can afford to get this guy or this lady to endorse their company and their products, how exactly are they able to afford that? Well, let me explain how just briefly. One of the number one sales tactics that any given precious metals dealer can employ in order to beef up their sales numbers is to push on their clients not the bullion investments that TRADEway or someone like TRADEway would recommend. That would be like your run-of-the-mill, brilliant uncirculated gold eagles, or maybe your silver maple leafs or your gold kangaroos or something like that. No, rather, they will push on you something like a commemorative coin or a collectible coin or something that they may call a numismatic coin. The thing about these types of products is that they carry a much higher premium cost compared to those brilliant uncirculated options that I mentioned just a second ago. The kinds of things that you would normally be thinking about just as an everyday precious metals investor, your eagles, your maple leafs, etc. And when they push those things on their clients and convince them that that's what they need to be purchasing, that then increases that company's net revenue. Their gross revenue is going to be high either way, but again, razor thin margins in this industry. They need something to compensate for that, and what most of them do is they put a heavy emphasis on those commemorative coins or those collectible coins. So when you see a big name endorsement, if you dig deep enough, what you will find out is the reason they can afford that is because they are pushing those numismatic coins or those commemorative coins on their clients, which are not ideal options. Now, the second thing you want to watch for is something that I like to call the verbiage, and it's right on the front page of their website, just like the big name endorsements. And it's usually something like this: we are the number one rated gold company, or we are the number one rated precious metals dealer, or number one rated this, that, or the other. Oddly enough, you will find that there are a lot of number one rated dealers out there. Well, I don't really know how that works, but typically what they're doing is they're basing those types of phrases off of their BBB rating or maybe their TrustLink score or something like that. Considering the fact that most of these large dealers are quote unquote accredited with the BBB, and by the way, one of the ways in which you become accredited is by paying the BBB, it kind of goes without saying that using those ratings as your sole source of reliability is not the best place to start. So when you see verbiage such as we are the number one rated this, that, or the other, that could be a red flag with regard to how they conduct their business and whether or not they are being as transparent as they could be, especially with their marketing. Now, the third thing that you really need to watch for is something called the bait and switch. Now, many of us have heard that phrase before, but it's very prevalent in the precious metals industry among other sales tactics that we're not going to have time to go into in this video, but it's one of the top ones. And typically the way it works is like this. You'll see a TV commercial, or maybe you'll get an old-fashioned mailer in your mailbox with some kind of brochure on it, or maybe it'll be on their website, or you'll get ads on your internet browser or whatever it may be, advertising the lowest prices of anywhere around. And that they may even give you a number. They may even say on your first order, you can have this particular coin for free or something like that. And they'll have all of these trappings that are at the very front page of their advertising in order to get you into their website, or even worse, to get you on the phone with one of their sales reps, where they will then divert your attention. So that's the bait. Now the switch comes when they get you on the phone and they start to divert your attention away from those things that were in their advertisements, and they now start talking about what I mentioned earlier, the commemorative coins, the collectible coins, the numismatic coins. They want you to start thinking about those, and that is where the switch takes place, because those things are where they're going to have higher margins, they're going to have more room for commissions, which the person on the phone is making a living off of, and so your best interest is now no longer at the forefront of their minds. What they are most concerned with is closing the deal and getting you to close specifically on something that carries a much higher premium cost for the purpose of covering their commissions, their overhead, and possibly that overhead would include the big name endorsements that we talked about in point number one. And so beware of the bait and switch. When you see these advertisements that are really trying to get you all excited about the lowest prices around, or and maybe they are genuinely really low prices for those bait coins that they're using, just understand that as soon as you get on the phone with their sales reps, the conversation is not going to be about those, and you need to be prepared to either be strong and set the tone early and say, this is what I'm interested in. I want this coin. I want these silver eagles, is one hypothetical that I saw in this advertisement. I am not interested in anything else you have to offer. They're going to try really hard to get you to focus away from what you want and what they are talking about, and they will even kind of appeal to authority a little bit and use the fact that they are the quote-unquote experts to get you to listen to what they're saying and to purchase what they're doing or what they're offering. It could be for any reason, such as the fact that we're in an election cycle, or try to convince you that these collectible coins they're offering are going to be exempt from any kind of government confiscation in the future, or anything like that. There are all kinds of sales tactics they can then employ once they get you on the phone during the bait and switch. So just understand that those advertisements are trying to get you to do something very specific, and it's most likely not going to be in your best interest. That's all we have time for today, everybody. But if you're interested in still learning more, check out our next video where we're going to cover the final 2 points on traps of the precious metals industry for you to avoid. You can also check out the links in our description below, and we'll see you next time.